Jai Hind everyone. Today I, Pooja Pandey, Assistant Professor in the MCA department. I'm going to deliver a lecture on the understanding the recursive data structure and the role of the recursion. That is a very important topic in the DSA, and it is coming under the subject code that is BMC 205. Now, if I am going to discuss that, what do you mean by the recursive data structure? That it means that a data structure that is defined in terms of the itself, meaning it contains the smaller instances of the same structure. For example, the trees, linked list and the graphs, they all are the recursive data structure. Why? Because trees is normally, if you see that trees are normally composed of the nodes, right? So this is a recursive data structure. Now, the linked list in which each node is pointing to the next address. So you can say that in the linked list, what we do, we are pointing towards the next. So this is pointing, this address is pointing to the next data of the other component. So that's why I'm saying that this is a recursive data structure. So what do you mean by the recursive data structure? It is defined in terms of itself, meaning it contains smaller instances of the same structure. Likewise, in in trees, you see that this is a root and this is a child, right? So this is containing the smaller, this structure is same, and this is the smallest particle, which the smallest element which has been taken it from the root node, right? So that's why it is called as your recursive data structure. Then recursion in data structure. What do you mean by? There is a difference between the recursive in data structure and recursion in data structure. Recursion means that you are calling the function by itself, and that is called to in recursion we mainly break the problem into the small sub problems until we are finding the solution for each sub problem. And when we are finding the solution of the each sub problem, then we are joining that problem, that solution, and finally we are forming the structure to simplify the solution. That is recursion is about breaking a problem into the smaller sub problem, which I have discussed just now, and solving them in the same way using the structure itself to simplify the solution. Now this technique is mainly used to perform the operation like the traversal in searching or in modifying the recursive data structure, right? And in this technique, we call the function itself to solve the problem, especially when we are dealing the recursive data structure. Which type of recursive data structure? Earlier we have discussed that recursive data structure are the trees and the you can say linked list, and for that we are using the recursion. So that is the main difference in the recursive and the recursion. Now, the important recursion in the data structure methods which we always use are, the first one is your tail recursion and the second one is your binary recursion. In the tail recursion, as a name used, the tail recursion of is mainly that recursive functions are called at the very end of the process. It means that the process has completed and at the end we will see that the recursion is called. That is a tail recursion, and after that no other operations are performed. But in the binary recursion, recursion involves that by means 2. So we are breaking the problem into the 2 times. We are using the recursion 2 times, or you can say we are calling the function in the binary recursion, we are calling the function 2 times instead of one after the other. Now this type of recursion is particularly useful for the operation like the merging and tree traversal. When we do the tree traversal or when we are merging the components, we are using the binary recursion. Now, again, if I am discussing that tail recursion, earlier what I have discussed, that what do you mean by the tail recursion, that it is sometimes in the when we are using the recursion is the function is calling itself either in the middle of the function or at the end of the function, and after that nothing will be happened. So that is a tail recursion. Now, why tail recursion is so important? It is important when we are working on the stacks. We see that there are when we are doing the push and pop and all these things operations, the spaces are left. So tail recursion is most efficient because it does not need extra space on the call stack, because it does not need the extra space. Why? Because the recursion is not called at the beginning, it is called either at the middle of the program or at the end of the program. So that's why it does not require any extra space for the calling. So most compilers, when we are working on the compiler, it can optimize it by converting the recursion into this mumble loop internally. That's why the tail recursion is very useful. If you see this example, it is printing the numbers, n numbers, and we are calling here this recursion here. So you see that this tail recursion, this is a very last action tail recursion is occurring because we are calling that function here, right? Not in the beginning part. Then binary recursion is mean that in the body we are calling it the 2 times. That means that every call creates 2 more recursion. That's why it is called as a binary recursion. Bi means 2. So that's why we are calling the 2 more recursive calls. Now, where the question comes in our mind that where is our binary recursion is useful? See, binary recursive is very useful when we are working on the tree traversal, Fibonacci series or the merge sort. In these types of problems, we normally use the binary recursion because we are dividing the problem into the 2 parts and we are calling the 2 recursive calls. If you see that here in this example of the Fibonacci, we are calling the 2 recursive calls. That's why it is a binary recursion. Now, again, we can take an example of the binary search recursive algorithm in which if an array is given, you see that if in any array has been given to us, like we have given as the value as 12, 48, 60, 34, 72, right? So, if we see that, let us suppose that we have given a this type of list or an array and we have to find out the you say the midpoint middle part of this. So how we are going to find out? We are taking it as this is your lower bound, this is your upper bound, right? So we are calling it as a index. If you see that like this, we are performing the operation. Here we are writing 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And according to the int mid, we are taking the midpoint, and here we are taking the lower bound. If lower bound is greater than the upper bound, then we are returning, right? And return to less than 1. But when we are taking, if item what we are searching is equals to that, then we will say it will lie on the right side, and if it is not, then it will lie, the value will be lie on the left side. So that's we are working on the binary search algorithm. That is your bounding is 4 plus 0 upon 2, that is equals to 2, right? So your item A mid is your 2, so this is your midpoint, right? Now if item what we want to search, let us suppose I want to search the 34 number. So if I see that here, if you are putting the values here, that is means that if item is your 34, right? So 34 lie on which, on a 3. So if 34 3, here we are writing it 34 is equals to A of mid. A of mid is you say that it is 2. A of mid is A of 2, that is your 60, right? A of mid is you can say that it is mid is 2, and at the second position the value is 60. So 34, if 34 is equals to 60, no. So what does it mean? That our this item, this the item we are going to search is in our the right side. So we will perform the operations which is at the right side. And here again we will find the midpoint, that is 2 plus 4, 6, and 6, 3. So this will be the midpoint. Again, we will compare it and then we will find our item. So you see this, all these processes is requiring the, is divided into the two parts, right? So that is why we are using the binary recursion in the binary search algorithm. So that's what I wanted to explain, that in binary search, or you can say in the binary recursion, we are using the recursion, we are calling the recursion by 2. And here in the binary search algorithm also, if you see this example, we are searching in an item. First, we have divided all the list into the two parts, right? And we have found out the middle part. If mid part is greater than the if you say that if mid part is less than of your or your mid part is greater than your right part or your item, then the value is lying in the right side, and if it is less, then it is lying on the left side, right? And again, we are dividing that left side into the two parts to find out the our item, and or if value is lying on the right side, then we are dividing that right side part into the, we are doing the binary search algorithm again on that part. So that will be the you can say the use of the binary search algorithm using the binary recursion. Now, there is a, if we study that, we have already known that what do you mean by the iteration, but here we are studying the recursion. So then important question comes in our mind, that what is the difference between the iteration and the recursion. See, iteration means that a technique where a set of instruction is executed repeatedly using the loops. We are in iteration, we are using the loops. For loop, while loop, we are using iteratively, or we are calling the function, right? But in the recursion, the function is calling repeatedly itself to solve the smaller parts of the problem. Before this slide, we have studied the binary search algorithm, and in that we are seeing that we have divided the list into the two parts. Again, we are dividing into the two parts. We are dividing it into the two parts until we are finding the exact answer. So we are calling the function repeatedly there to solve the smaller parts, right? And in the iteration, we normally use the loop construct, while in the recursion, we use the function calls. In the iteration, all the things are controlled by the loop condition, while in the recursion, it is controlled by the base condition. Now, if I am going to talk about the memory usage is in iteration, the less memory is required, right? While in the recursion, we require the more memory. The speed, if we are comparing the speed of the iteration and the recursion, then the speed is faster due to the less overhead in the you say in the iteration. But in the recursion, the speed is slower because we are calling the function is called overhead, right? So these are the basic difference between the iteration and the recursion, which is very important, and that should be known to every student, that what are the difference between the iteration and the recursion. Now, this is a very common problem then when we are discussing that what do you mean by the, what is a Tower of Hanoi, right? When we are discussing the problem of the recursion, then we also discuss that what is Tower of Hanoi. The Tower of Hanoi is normally a classical mathematical problem which involves that if you see this diagram, we see that there are three pegs, right? A, B and C, right? And here are n discs are there. So what is the procedure? The rule is that only one disk will move to the other at a time, and at the top of any tower can be moved, and the larger this larger disk cannot be placed on the on the top of the smaller disk. So this is a rule, right? And we have to find out that we have to keep this disk 1 and 2 in the similar position in the here. So we will require that how many steps we are going to take it. Now, if you see that here, we have got the 3 pegs and 2 disks. So it will take 2 to the power n minus 1. It means that 2 to the power n, and we are taking the 2 disks, that is 2 minus 1, that is 4 minus 1, that okay. So we will require here, and here we will see that 3 steps. right? So it will take the 3 steps when we are taking the two two disc, then it will take the 3 steps to complete the to transfer the disc to the tower, so to the peg C. So here we can say that move all the disc. Objective is, what is the objective of the tower of Hanoi? The objective is we have to move the disc from source tower A to destination tower using an auxiliary tower. Earlier what we are saying that this is a source, this is a auxiliary, and this is your destination tower, right? Here we have capped this tower, we have capped our pegs, right? Discs are here, and we have to transfer all these discs to the, with this we have to transfer to this destination source. We can take the help of this auxiliary peg also, or you can say auxiliary tower, so we can take it, right? So for the 2 disc, right? Earlier we have discussed that for the 2 disc we will take the 3 moves, and for the 3 disc we will take the 7 moves. How? Like this. 2 to the power is 3, that means 8. 8 minus 1 is equals to 7. So we will take 7 steps here, right? Now, how we are, what is the logic of the Tower of Hanoi recursive logic? For that, we will see that we have to move the end disk from the source A to destination C using the auxiliary B. First, we have to follow the step that move n minus 1 disk from A to B using the C. Then second, move 1 disk from A to C. Then third, move n minus 1 disk from B to C using the A. And the last one is, we will repeat this process recursively for n minus 1 disk, right? Now, this algorithm also shows that the similar step, what we are saying, I am saying, that first we will start with the procedure that the disk is given, right? Disk is, you say 3, source, destination and the auxiliary, right? Now, move disk from source to the destination. Now, suppose that we have here, here it is source, here it is destination, here it is A, right? Now, 1, 2, 3, okay? So, 1, 2 and 3. At the first step, what we will do, we will move, since the rule says that smaller disk cannot be capped at the bottom side and the larger disk cannot be capped at the upper side. So what we will do, we will transfer this disk 3 to here, right? And we will cross it. Now this, in the next step, what we will do, if you see that, in the next step, we will transfer 2 to here, then we are cancelling it, 2 here, moving this, then we are cancelling it, right? Now, what the rule says? Rule says that we cannot keep this larger disk to here. So what I am doing, I am transferring this third disk to here. So it will take 3 here, right? Now, and I am cancelling it. Okay. Now, you see that so now what I will do, I will transfer this bigger disk to the here, right? This disk to the here, like, and at this I am going to cancel. Now again I am transferring this 3 to here and 2 to here and this 3 to here. So you will see that all the disk has been transferred. So this is a solution. Now For the practice, you can try that if the disk is 4 disk, then what will be the you can say what will be the solution, or what will be the solution for this problem, and how many steps it will take to complete this problem, right? So this is a tower of Hanoi. So this is the same algorithm what I have discussed previously. Now, when we are discussing about the recursive, important question comes in our mind, that removal of the recursion, why it is needed, right? It means that removal of the recursion means that changing a recursion function into a normal non-recursive iterative function, right? Now, instead of calling the function itself, we normally use the loops and sometimes stacks to do the same work. Now, why we remove the recursion? Recursion normally uses the extra memory for the each function call. So that's and if many times we call the recursive call, it can cause the stack overflow error. So removing the recursion, when we remove the recursion, it makes the program very faster and it uses a less memory in the same case. So removing the recursion is very important, because we uses as recursion, as we know that recursion uses the extra memory, and for removing the extra memory, when we remove the recursion, our program become faster and it uses a less memory in some cases. That's why removing the recursion is very important. Then how to remove the recursion? Just simply replace the recursive call with the loops, right? And use a data structure. What we will do? We will simply replace this recursive calls with the loop. That is iterative method, right? Now, again, in spite of we are using the stack data structure if needed to keep track of the values because of the recursion stacks, right? So, in this example, I have taken these two examples, that this is with recursion and other is without recursion, and the same is there. See, here we are calling the function. Okay, now this is taking the much more spaces and much more memory. That's why we don't need the recursion. So that's why we want to avoid the recursion. Now here what I am taking here, I am simply taking the loop, right? Until this condition is satisfied, our function will be called. So that is a loop. You can say the iterative method is very useful because it takes a less amount of memory space. That's why we always suggest that use less recursive function, use iteration more, and you should remove the recursion. Now, what is the benefits of removing the recursion? Earlier I have discussed in the PPT. The benefits of the recursion is it saves the memory spaces, it avoids the stack overflow, and can sometimes make the program run faster. Why? Because when the memory space is being saved, stack overflow has been avoided, it will make our program to run faster. So, thank you all for this lecture. Thank you.